Chicken is messed up because the average, okay, so right now chicken is the #1 reason for colon cancer in men.
This is an example of how someone can say whatever they want on the internet and people will begin to believe them. Because the intake of poultry or fish in replacement for red meat lowers the risk of colon cancer. Not only is chicken not the #1 cause of colon cancer, but it does actually appear to reduce our risk of colon cancer. But what increases it? Risk for colon cancer is increased by obesity, low physical activity, smoking and alcohol consumption, a high salt diet, and a diet high in red meat. Specifically processed red meat and red meat that has been cooked at an extremely high temperature. But we simply can't dismiss the fact that red meat in general is associated with colorectal cancer. That does not mean it's causative. And personally, I do value the consumption of red meat that is not charged alongside fruits, vegetables, different herbs, and spices due to the abundance of micronutrients that we can derive from red meat. However, again, this is unprocessed red meat, typically in the form of a leaner cut of steak, or in the form of organ meats. But there are also genetic factors, including a family history of colon cancer, along with a history of inflammatory bowel disease or other colon abnormalities such as polyps. However, as mentioned, the consumption of chicken in replacement of red meat does appear to lower risk. Diets low in fiber, fruits, and vegetables increase risk, therefore increasing fiber, fruit, and vegetable consumption would decrease our risk of colon cancer. Another risk factor is a diet low in calcium and vitamin D, specifically from dairy products. Therefore, increasing our intake from calcium and vitamin D from things like dairy or certain fish can help prevent the development of colon cancer. Additionally, it does appear that excess body fat can increase the risk of colon cancer.
Not to mention, when you eat chicken, it turns into a paste inside your stomach, clogging, like it captures bacteria when you eat things with that sludge. Now,
any food that you consume turns into a sludge-like mixture called chyme inside of your stomach. It doesn't matter if it's chicken, eggs, fruits, vegetables, or candy. Let's watch a brief demonstration of how digestion works.
A J-shaped bag-like structure. Mucus, hydrochloric acid, and digestive juices that are present in the stomach act on the food to help digest it through chemical action. The mucous membrane protects the inner wall of the stomach from the effects of the acid. The hydrochloric acid kills the bacteria that enter along with the food and also helps in the digestion of proteins. The digestive juices start breaking down the proteins present in the food into simpler forms. Muscular contractions in the stomach churn this food mass to further break it down and mix it with secretions in the stomach to form a thick liquid. This thick liquid is called chyme. The chyme exits the stomach through peristaltic movements and enters the small intestine.
So technically all food is turned into a sludge inside of our digestive system. And this is simply the process of breaking down the food that we eat. And in reference to the idea that chicken somehow carries bacteria in it, as you can see, the function of our stomach is to kill off any bacteria left on our food, because our stomach is extremely acidic. For example, if you put your stomach inside of stomach acid, it would likely melt off. And your finger is made of pretty much the exact same components as chicken. With that being said, cooking chicken kills off pretty much all of the bacteria on the food. And to kill off the bacteria, it's recommended to get the internal temperature of the chicken above 165 degrees Fahrenheit. But similar to red meat, we do want to avoid charring. Therefore, using methods that don't typically char your meat, such as boiling, or simply baking and cooking at a lower temperature, can help reduce the risk of any sort of colon-damaging compounds that could potentially be formed from charring foods. And the last tip I'll give you is that the use of herbs and spices can actually reduce the formation of some potentially dangerous compounds from overcooking foods. This study specifically highlighted things like basil, oregano, rosemary, and thyme, and found slightly less beneficial but still beneficial effects for black pepper, cayenne pepper, cumin, curcuma, and sweet paprika. So I hope this video was informative and disproved the idea that chicken somehow causes colon cancer, or some sort of bacterial buildup within your stomach. And if you want to learn how to take control of your health and energy and avoid a lot of the misinformation online, send me a DM to sign up for coaching.